Hey, also today I want to talk about one little thing, and that is how sympathy is utilized by white supremacists to alienate marginalized people. So, a little bit of context. I recently on Threads had this really, we'll call it interesting dynamic that was explored, where I said to a growing person on Threads that the way you're pointing out that people who say not all men are all doing it to be malicious is incorrect. A lot of the times people who say not all men are actually advocating for marginalized men who should not just be immediately lumped in with abusers. She did not like this. And what she did is she created sympathy with all of her followers and allowed her followers to dogpile on me. So much so that her followers ended up telling me that I should kill myself, told me that my parents should have aborted me, told me that I deserved all of the abuse and bullying that was being heaped upon me. Basically just like allowed her followers and encouraged her followers to dehumanize me to an extent of normalizing abusive behavior from them. I'm fine. I'm totally fine. I'm strong enough emotionally and psychologically that I can withstand butt heads like that. But it led me to this really interesting understanding how people weaponize sympathy as white supremacists. Now, when I'm talking about white supremacists, I'm not just talking about like people who are racist. I'm talking about people who have existed and continue to exist within the concepts and the confines of white supremacy, meaning that they are upholding the culture of white supremacy and also upholding the culture of cis-het supremacy. That's specifically what I'm talking about right now. Basically, they're upholding the dynamics of white supremacy that keep people in positions of privilege and oppress those who are marginalized. Now, when I'm talking about sympathy and empathy right now, I'm talking about the understanding of sympathy is the act of having feelings towards somebody, and empathy is the act of relating and understanding to somebody. So sympathy is thoughts and prayers. I feel so bad for you that you're going through this. Empathy is I understand what you're going through and I can relate to it. Do you understand the difference? Sympathy, empathy. Thoughts and prayers, I understand. When I say that people who are upholding white supremacy culture are weaponizing sympathy, what I'm talking about is they understand, whether they understand it like consciously or subconsciously, they understand that they are in a position within white supremacist culture as a person of privilege where they can say, this person hurt me, and other people will sympathize with them and turn the person that they say hurt them, because remember, sympathy is not based on understanding. The people will sympathize with the person who declares the loudest, I have been victimized, and they will turn against the person who that person has identified as the victimizer and turn that person into someone they are comfortable dehumanizing to an extent of saying, you should kill yourself. You are not worthy of being protected against bullying. You are a monster. You are a villain. You are not worthy of protection. All because one person who's in a position of privilege says, I've been hurt. Now remember, this is what sympathy allows. Empathy, on the other hand, doesn't allow for that, because if someone says, hey, empathize with me, you have to understand them. You have to understand their situation first. And you can't understand someone's situation and completely dehumanize another person. That's not a possibility. Because dehumanization takes a lack of understanding. And also, quintessentially, it takes high emotions, which is why sympathy is such a good manipulation tool, especially for white supremacists. So, if you've made it this far in the video, thank you. If you haven't, I don't care. But I'm just going to say, when you are engaging with people, especially when you're engaging with people online, and they are asking for your sympathy, understand that is a dubious position that they are putting themselves in. And remember, the difference between sympathy, thoughts and prayers, and empathy, I understand and I can relate, comes down to a matter of understanding. Seek first to understand and make judgments second.